Anyway, we are revving towards 5 red lights for the French Grand Prix, the second of the weekend, and we are on the way. In Paul Ricard and Charlie has not got the best getaway, neither has Borger, and it's Josh in the Mercedes that has jumped the Aston Martin going into turn 1. It is Charlie ahead of Josh. Borger really struggling here. JMC round the outside. That's a brilliant move from the Haas. You talk about being aggressive, you talk about taking opportunities. That's exactly what JMC has done. A beautiful move from the Haas, and it's up into P3, and we've got Leah absolutely sending it on CSC Morris. In the other Aston Martin, he's up in a P6. A brilliant start from him. Morris down in 7th. Molly 8th. Mash is up into P9. From the back of the grid, he's looking to make it P8 as well. We've got Clock in the Alfa Romeo, looking to make it 3 wide perhaps. He's looking to try and make some places as well, and that's exactly what he's done. He's up in a P9, and Molly losing not 1, but
and look
2
at
places.
BCFC Josh, he's about to go for a move for the lead.
Oh, and look at this, Josh the lead down the inside. He just couldn't look for the move, and that was a good spot there, Benz. I almost missed that, but Josh really going for it on this opening lap. But it's Charlie ahead of the rest of the field, just like in qualifying. And I want to raise your attention to Scar Borger. He's down in P5.
It's not been a good start for Scar Borger. Yeah, it is not. Yeah, it doesn't. It's not. Yeah.
A disastrous start. It has to be said. He was definitely not vibing off the line, and someone who definitely isn't vibing at the start of this race is Adrian. He has had a spin, I think, in the middle sector, and as a result, he is now 6.5 seconds behind the nearest car. And I know for one fact, it is going to be a DRS train around this racetrack. It's very hard to overtake as it is, and that is exactly why it is not on the calendar for the next season in Formula 1. So, yeah, bye. I'm not a fan of this track, but they're going to have to try their best here to try and make some moves happening, especially the fact that they're all on the same strategy. They're all on the hard tyre, so Adrian's spin on the opening lap.
BCFC Josh will go for a move here on Charlie again. He's trying to get past him before even the DRS is activated, and he looks like he will.
There you go, he's made the move, he takes the lead of the French Grand Prix.
But Charlie has a better exit here. Oh, that's a good scrap.
That was not a good run for Josh. I think the lead might not last long. Charlie going to go round the outside, perhaps, of the right-hander, and he can't make it stick. Meanwhile, Borger's got past Andrew for P4. He's getting a move on after that disastrous start from the Aston Martin. But Charlie's down into P2. I don't think he had that on his race plan, as he's now 6 tenths behind. So now he's going to have to worry about saving ERS. And speaking of ERS, that is going to definitely be a key factor between winning and losing this Grand Prix. And right now, the man who is leading this Grand Prix is BCFC Josh, as Danny D has left the session. So let's see if we can
now up to third
get him
place.
back in as Borger makes the move on the main straight, and he is up back into the top 3. It's been a disastrous start for him, just like Austria, but he is getting a move on. But unfortunately for him, he's only got 40% ERS, and DRS has just been enabled, so he's going to have to do some defending, and he's not got much to work with.
Yeah, and BCFC Josh really burned a lot of his ERS to get past Charlie. Meanwhile, Charlie just saving ERS, but if he can stick in his DRS, which shouldn't be hard, I mean, if he doesn't make any mistakes, Charlie will definitely have the advantage on Josh when it comes to the ERS, because Josh just has 49% left. And I really hope Scar Borger can join this battle as well and catch up to them and make it a 3-way battle. A little bit.
Yeah, that would definitely be
spice things up a
be
little
good to
bit.
see. As you can see, Charlie really getting on the back of the Mercedes. I think Danny D's left the session, so I think it would be good if you could try and get him back in.
Yeah, well,
because that is definitely not Danny D driving. So, yeah, he's currently 11th, and he's going to find himself really dropping back if he can't get back in the lobby. As we've got SLR Mash, who made a good start to this race. He started 12th, he's now 8th. He's looking to make another place on Morris, and Morris is a little bit wayward at the exit of the final corner, but because everyone has DRS, it's going to be hard to overtake, as Scarborger, despite running third, has just set the fastest lap of this race, a 34.8, I believe, if I've not read that wrong. And track limits are definitely going to be a key part of this race as well. It is one of the most infuriating tracks for track limits, and it's very easy to get warnings around here. So yeah, don't be too surprised if we see a couple of penalties. And Scarborger! Scarborger spun! I don't believe it!
I jinxed him
again! You jinxed him!
Oh my god, I jinxed him!
You've jinxed him! You've actually jinxed him!
That's not good vibes right there.
No, it's not.
Also,
it's not good vibes.
I invited Danny D, but he went offline for some reason, so I don't think he'll join.
To be fair, he tried.
Yeah.
Not like you didn't bother at all. As meanwhile, speaking of bothering, Charlie's going to bother Josh for the race lead. And he's gone down the inside. Through his right-hander, you don't see too many overtakes going into the third sector. But it is Josh that stays ahead for the time being. And Charlie, you can see, you can tell, he is literally going for it here in this race. He wants to lead back. He definitely feels like he is quicker than the Mercedes car. And he's definitely looking to show that with terms of race.
He's going to go for the move here.
Yeah, he's definitely going to go for it. He's using up the ERS. He's saved. And there you go. It's simple.
Easy.
And it is effective. He takes the lead again of this French Grand Prix. The pole sitter looks to flex his muscles compared to the rest of the field. And Josh will have to settle for being in second place. And these two are 3 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. They're in a class of their own in the opening stages.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate that Scar just spinned, because he definitely had the pace. He was closing in on those two and could have made it a 3-way battle, but obviously he made that huge mistake. And now it's just those two at the front, and it looks like active JMC doesn't really have enough pace to catch up, so most likely it'll be yeah.
Well, fair enough, but someone who definitely does have the pace is SLR Mash. He's just made another position.
Yeah, to be fair to him.
And finally got past the Mercedes. And WR Andrew is side by side with JMC. And there you go, Andrew takes third place.
Oh!
And the Haas goes down inside. There's contact there through the right-hander. And I don't think Andrew will be too happy with that. Let's just hope he's streaming this race so we can get his reaction after the race. If you want to watch back his streams, I think he streams these races. But he's not going to be too happy, as Adrian's retired from this Grand Prix. There's debris all over the place. We've got a safety car.
Oh, we do.
And there you go. You were right. You've absolutely nailed it there. There is a safety car.
And now what are they going to do? They're going to pit?
Yeah, what are they going to do? They're slowing down because of the Delta.
Andrew is fitting.
Super broken on this game. And oh no.
Oh, and he sped in the... unfortunate.
Oh, well that is not what he needed to do. Andrew was running third. You know, he was fighting for third literally just a couple of moments ago. And now he's got himself a 5-second penalty. And he's going to have to serve that as well. So, yeah, Andrew making life a little bit more difficult than it needs to be there. With that pit lane mistake, it's easily done, to be fair. But that is definitely going to harm his result here. Scarborger, with nothing to lose, he's in the pits for a set of medium tyres. So these guys could play a nuisance to the hard runners, as it's way too long for the medium tyres to go to the end of the Grand Prix. But these guys got nothing to lose. They were quite a way back from the race lead. And now things should get quite interesting, as we've got a split in strategy, Benz.
Yeah, yeah. They definitely have to go for the 2-stop now. Or another stop at least for the mediums, because they won't be able to last those. But if another safety car comes, then that was a good decision. I don't think it's a good decision. I would have stayed out as well on the hard tires if I was racing here.
I have to agree with you. It does seem pretty strange to pit really early in this Grand Prix. It's not like we're like lap 12, the 13, where, you know, if you did pit on mediums, you would get to the end of the Grand Prix despite suffering some problems with the tyres at the end. And yeah, Drastic Blaze in the chat as well. He also agrees with us here. He believes it is strange to pit so early. I think these guys are going to try and be a bit more aggressive. I think Andrew might put the hard tyres back on, really. Yes, he's got that penalty. He'll find himself down in P11. Danny D, I think he's back in, if I'm not mistaken.
I invited him
He
again.
is.
I don't know if he is.
Yeah. Which is quite strange, because Adrian's out of the Grand Prix, so it is quite strange. But I think now, now we're seeing some movement here in the pit lane. I think Scarborger's back in. Yep, Scarborger's back in the pits here. I think he might be going for the hard tyres once again.
Yeah.
So let's see what tyres he's picked. He's picking the Red Wall tyres. He's picking the soft tyre.
What is that strat?
I don't know. You'll have to tell me.
I mean, I think he's gonna just go put on the show for us and just fly past all of the other cars at the restart, or wants to make up some positions, but then he'll have to pit again. So I don't really understand it, but we'll see.
We'll definitely see. I think he's going to try and vibe his way through the field here before he stops again. Let's hope he does.
Or maybe
a good show, maybe.
Maybe he'll just pit again this lap.
He'll definitely have to. Safety car was deployed on lap 5, so I'm not too sure if he'll get another chance to pit. As Danny D is putting in the chat, nope, he's had a power cut, which is very, very unfortunate.
Yeah, it is.
Danny D, let's hope it's nothing too serious. And let's hope you can get back in, but eventually. But as Morris he's had an off as well. He's gone off.
Oh.
What on earth has happened there? I'm not too sure what's going on, but he's had an off during the safety car, which is very strange. And now he's found himself at the back of the field. So yeah, Morris, a very unfortunate moment, and Scarborger, like he did say, he might have to pit again. He's definitely going to have to, because the safety car is coming in at the end of this lap. Time will tell what the right strategy is, but right now, 6 hard runners, 4 medium runners, and 1 runner on the soft tyre, being Scarborger. So the pole sitter, SLR Charlie, is going to lead the field on the restart. And as we all know, the hard tyres is a very hard tyre to warm up. So he's got to get this warm up right. When is he going to go? It's up to him. Everyone else is going to have to just deal with whenever that Red Bull decides to get the power down. And that time is now.
It's a good restart.
And we are racing again in France. And unlike Austria, it's a much better restart for SLR Charlie. We are racing again. It's him ahead of Josh. Active James C in P3. Andrew is already looking for a move on Moley. He is the lead runner on those medium tyres, and I can imagine him wanting to get a move on, and that's exactly what he's looking to do here. Down the inside, into turn 3, and he gets the job done. Moley doesn't fight him too hard. He knows he's playing the long game, and he lets Andrew through the McLaren with that penalty on his head. He is definitely getting a move on, and I think that penalty might have changed his approach to the rest of this Grand Prix. There's a bit of a kerfuffle going on behind him, though. He's cleared the Williams, and that Williams is only going backwards. And look at Borger getting into a bit of contact. 3 wide, going into turns 8 and 9. Danny D has lost out, and Scarborger gets past the Williams. He's trying to muscle his way through, but Danny D is going to get involved as well. Borger clears both of them, and Danny D loses out. He's down in the P10. He's still behind the Williams, who is really struggling on those hard tyres, and he just can't make the move happen going into this right-hander. So Scarborger, you know, we did hope he was putting on a show for us. He's getting a move on here, Benz.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, and he should. I mean, he's on the fastest tyres at the moment, so he should make use of it.
Well, he's definitely doing it. He's made up 3 places. One of them was because Morris had a spin at the end of the safety car period. So Morris, currently 11th, he's going to have to start praying that he can get a move on and stay with the rest of the field. Otherwise, it's going to be a very long race for the Mercedes driver.
Oh, and Leah!
Oh no, Leah's round!
And he was doing good. He was up 4th place.
He was 4th. Now that's just painful.
Both the Aston Martins making some mistakes this race.
Yeah, definitely. It's very easy to make mistakes in France, and the Aston Martin pair have definitely demonstrated that. Leo was running as high as 4th before that spin, and his teammate is only cutting his way through the field like a hot knife through butter as he passes Saltier Clock very easily on those soft tyres. He's making them work, and he's up into P6. DRS yet to be enabled, so we are yet to see that infamous DRS train around France, as JMC, speaking of DRS, he definitely needs to try and stay within range of the Mercedes of Josh, otherwise he's going to have to do some defending. These guys on the hard tyres yet to stop, and I think that will be key, as these guys on the mediums and the softs are yet to stop again. They're going to have to. It's going to be a long stint for them if they try to go to the end, so it's absolutely vital for them to start pushing. But Charlie continues to lead. Mash is up into P4. In all fairness to him, he's done a great job from the back of the grid. DRS enabled. Borger, unsurprisingly, with the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, as he is really right behind Andrew here, going through turn 2. He is definitely going to be sizing up a move. Mash has run out of VRS.
Yeah,
I did touch on earlier, ERS is going to be key.
It is. And JMC just does not look like he has the pace to stick with the front 2. And he doesn't have DRS. Now Mash might have an opportunity to... But he doesn't have ERS though. I don't think he can overtake him. He burned all of his ERS already. That's strange.
It's strange. Oh, there he is. There's Borger going through the left-hand side of your screen, and he's up at the P5. Andrew knows he's not going to fight that. Borger is absolutely on it, but he's not got much ERS either. But he's going to still absolutely send it. He's going to try and move around the outside here. He's got so much more grip on those soft tyres. And let's see if he can make it happen here. Trying to go around the outside. He has a little look, but he might get a switchback if he gets the drive out of this corner. But he doesn't. He stays behind. And funny enough, he's also drained the battery as well here, Ben. So he might have a bit of a hard time getting past the AlphaTauri.
Yeah, I think he will. Maybe he'll send it now. He should send it. No, he doesn't. Yeah, it's going to be really difficult in this straight to overtake. Oh, he gets a better exit here, though.
Yeah, he's got a much better run. Those hard tyres definitely starting to drop off. And Scarborger is up into P4 if he can complete the move at turns 1 and 2. Mash is going to try and hang on, but he can't quite do it. He is down to P5. It might be P6 as Andrew gets a much better drive out of turn 2. And look at this. Andrew down the inside. At turn 3, he's got to leave Mash some space, though. And he does. A nice move. And look at Clark getting in there as well. Mash is going backwards. He's been squeezed off by the Alfa Romeo. And he's down to P7. And unfortunately for Andrew, he made that nice move. And he's not got DRS. But someone who does is Scarborger. And he's back into the top 3 now. So Scarborger on the move here. He's on a rampage in Paul Ricard.
Yeah, he is. Really, what he needs now is a safety car. If a safety car comes in now, then Scar is back in the game. But because of his pit stop, he does need to pit again, and so does Charlie and Josh. To be fair, I don't even know. I don't know. I don't know what will happen.
I mean, you never know what can happen in Division 2. Yes, Cohen, that is Ben's on comms, the connoisseur of the good vibes in the SLR chat. Yeah, he is on comms alongside me here, so yeah, here he is.
Just Mash as well. Last lap, he just lost 3 positions, all in just less than 1 sector. I mean, come on, Mash, don't let him go so easily.
Yeah, I think Mash is really strong.
And he got a penalty.
Hard tyres, and oh no, now he's got a penalty. He was running P4 just a minute ago, and now he's got a penalty, and now we've got some dark clouds starting to descend. So maybe
if it rains, and it was spicy.
You've just said it now. You just said if it rains, so it could rain. We might be getting pretty close to some rain here. Meanwhile, out in front, SLR Charlie trying to preserve his lead. The shoe is on the other foot with the top two here, Benz. It looks like Josh is doing more of the ERS management than Charlie. Charlie just with under 40%. Meanwhile, Josh nearly has 60% of the battery. And what you were hoping for earlier was Scarborger potentially getting into this fight and making it a three-way fight for the win. We could definitely see that because everyone has to stop at least one more time.
I realized that now. Yeah. I was just like, yeah, but Scarborger, he made it work, it looks like, with the softs. And he got past everyone, and now he's back, even if they pit. So, yeah.
Yeah, this
fair play to
could have been this could have been a very important stint for the Aston Martin. Now he's got to try and get DRS, and at this point, surely those soft tyres will be dropping off. So maybe this is an opportunity for the.
And it's getting a really dark symbol. Look at this. At least on my screen.
It is getting ridiculously dark. But that's not going to stop Andrew on his case for P4. He almost makes contact with the McLaren. And no, he spun. No, it was going so well for Andrew. And instead he spun. And he comes back on the track. You've almost annihilated the Alpine, mate. Be careful. But he's down in P10 now. And that is a huge shame for Andrew. He was looking really impressive. And we've got a change for the lead. Josh has taken the lead from SLR Charlie on lap 13. And this is a crucial time for these guys because they need to stop in this race. Clock in the Alfa Romeo. He's been very quiet so far. He gets past JMC for P4. So it looks like things are starting to...
Do I see rain?
Things are really starting to kick off here.
I think I do.
Yeah, that's rain, mate. Your eyes are not deceiving you. My eyes aren't deceiving me either. That is rain. Starting to fall in front, and now, if it rains hard enough, Scarborger could get away with being on these soft tyres. Because those tyres, he's been on them for 6 laps, and tyre wear is pretty abrasive around this racetrack. So he's got to try and hang on for as long as he can until it rains, because if he pits now, it's game, set, and match. I know he's gone straight in.
I don't know about that.
He's gone for it. He's made the call. He won in intermediate conditions in Austria, and he made that call to go for the race win, and that's exactly how he won in Austria. He made the call at the right time. There is a rule of thumb in Formula 1 and in league racing. You've got to be on the right tyre at the right time, and he feels that this is the right time for the intermediate tyres, and so does Andrew. But in all fairness to the McLaren, he's got nothing to lose at this point, as he's at the rear of the field.
Yeah, definitely. And it will be interesting, the conditions, because sometimes obviously when it rains it's still, as it's a yellow flag, and that is...
Oh no, well, that's Borger.
Borger, oh.
That is Scarborger. I've just seen Drastic Blaze put in the chat a couple of moments ago, Borger back on for a podium if you can get track position. It's not looking good.
Yeah, I think it was too early for Borger.
Yeah, I definitely think it was. I think he just needs to hang on for just a little bit longer. And instead, he's down in 10th place. He's had a spin as well. And that is not going to be good stuff for him. He's, you know, probably one of the quickest drivers on this racetrack right now. In this division as well. And at the moment, it looks like he's only going to get 1 point to show for it. As Charlie dives in!
Ooh, this is now interesting, because Josh stay out, and this, yeah, now, let's see what happens. I'm not going to say anything.
We'll see. It looks like you have managed to make the right call in terms of rain. You haven't jinxed that, to be fair, Benz. But now, let's see. Time will tell if this was the right decision. Can Scarborger get himself back in this Grand Prix? There's Leah making his way through. Leah's actually going to be back in the top 5 here. An inspired call. DRS has just been disabled, so this could be the right choice.
Yeah, that means Charlie pitted at the perfect lap, I think. He nailed it. Because at this stage, the Inter's going to be faster. And Josh will have to go for an entire lap, or for the remainder of the lap. on these hard tires, and he'll just lose time, probably.
Well, it depends on. Let's see if he can keep it on the island here. He's currently coming through sector 2, and he's lost 3 seconds compared to what he normally would in the dry. So, Josh, you gotta keep it on the road here, mate. If you want a chance to win this Grand Prix and stay with Charlie, we've still got 12 laps to go, including this one, and I think we're in for one hell of a finish. Oh, he's a little bit squirrely there through the right-hander. These conditions are continuing to get deteriorating here in this race, and that was a clear sign of it. He's managed to do really well to keep it on the road here. But where is he going to feed out? Here he goes through into the pit lane. Oh no, what have you done? You've spin in
It's
the
so
pit
easy
lane.
to do that, and especially on the
It
run.
is easy.
Yeah.
That is the one thing he didn't need to do. And he might have just thrown away a chance at the win here. He might come out ahead of Charlie, but it might not matter in the end.
That is really unlucky. And Leah does the same exact thing.
Leah's done the same thing. Disastrous. Absolutely disastrous. It seems that the pit lane are keeping
There goes
catching
Charlie.
people out. Look at this.
Oh.
Look at this. Charlie is behind Josh. All you needed to do was get to the pit lane and you would have been fine, Josh. But let's see if you can get that 5-second gap. That's what he needs to do if he wants to win this Grand Prix.
Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame for that penalty. We could have had a... I mean, oh, he gets
no.
now... Oh, he's got now 8 seconds.
Okay, you know what? That is literally the equivalent of pouring salt in some very deep wounds here. Now, Josh, he's not got 3 seconds of penalty. He's got 8 seconds of penalties. And it's going to be very difficult for him to get back in this race.
And Leah spins.
Leah's had a spin at turn 5. And look at that. He's all over the shop here in the first sector. He's down to the rear of the field. And that is a huge shame for him. He was predicted for a podium from Benz. But the vibes did not match for
I'm sorry.
that prediction. It's not your fault. It's okay. No one's at fault. It just wasn't the right vibe, apparently.
But so the clock though. Look at him. He's very low key this race, and he's on for a podium.
Yeah, salty o'clock.
Out of nowhere.
Really doing well for himself. Up into P3. Probably could be one of the most unexpected podiums for quite some time for him if he can hang on. He's got active GMC just 1.4 seconds behind, so he's got to keep himself disciplined for the next 12 laps. Leah has gone off again. And that is a huge shame. He was 3 seconds behind Andrew, and if Andrew made a big mistake, he would have been maybe on for a point. But instead, it is P11, 11.5 seconds back to the next car. So it's going to be a very, very long end to the Grand Prix for Leah if there isn't a safety car. But out in front, it seems that Josh has definitely got the upper hand on Charlie. He's 2.2 seconds clear of the Red Bull. And this could be another twist of the tail here. He might have the pace in the dry and the wet, because now he's really starting to flex his muscles in these conditions here, Benz.
Will he be able to pull out to 8 seconds though? I mean, it won't be easy. I think Charlie knows exactly what he got to do. He's just got to keep it on the track, not spin, and stay within 8 seconds, and he wins the race, really. So he's got to keep it, play it smart, which is, I think, what Charlie will do. Not risk anything, not risk the pace to win it on track. Just keep it on the track and get the dub.
Yeah, I mean, that was literally the same way he won in Monaco earlier this season. He definitely didn't have the pace to win the race, but as Salty Clock was putting pressure on the championship leader, JD Menz, he just kept it clean, and when the time they collided, Charlie had a huge lead of 15 seconds, and he went on to become the master of Monaco in this division. So, Charlie, he's been here before. He might not be the fastest car in these conditions, but he knows what he needs to do to get the race win, and I think we might be seeing something similar here today in France. He just needs to keep on the track for the remaining 10 laps, and he's on for another race win in Division 2. Leah has gone off yet again in the third sector. But, yeah, Charlie knows what he needs to do.
Oh, Leah is all over the place.
Yeah, sorry. Leah's all over the shop here. Oh, that's alright. Don't apologise. It's alright. No need to apologise for that. You just noticed something. So there's Leah. Oh, no, he's off again.
Not been his day. I thought it was, but it's not. Oh.
That is an understatement. That is an understatement there, Benz.
I will say though,
been his day.
active JMC is right on the back of Zodiac Clock, and we could have a nice little battle for podium. And Mash is there as well, who has a 3-second penalty, but there's Scar Borga close to them. So this podium place is really up for grabs now. The third place.
Definitely is. We could be building up to a crescendo, maybe for the race win and for P3, the final slot on the podium. JMC looks a lot more confident and quite a way quicker in these intermediate conditions. The question is, when is he going to make the move for P3? He's definitely got time on his side, but he might not have the battery in comparison to the Alfa Romeo. He goes a little bit wide there at the last corner. That might put off his run just a little bit, but he knows he might need to be a little bit urgent towards the end of this Grand Prix, because the last thing you want is Scar Borga at the back of his car. As Clock goes really wide there through turn 1. He's really struggling in these conditions compared to the Haas, and this could be the opportunity that JMC was looking for. Not quite. It wasn't quite to be there, as Mash collects another 3-second time penalty. And look at this, Clock crawling through the first sector here. JMC has definitely got to look for a chance to overtake.
Oh, and he gets a penalty for going.
Oh no!
Ah, that's. And that's such a weird place as well. Just basically just on this train, really.
Yeah, so I think Clock might have just been frustrated JMC here. He knows he's like JMC. Surely, you know, in that cockpit, in that Haas, he definitely feels like he's so much quicker, and he's like, "Come on, get a move on! I'm so much quicker. I just need to get the drive or that run out of the corner or that nice apex." And instead of actually trying to go for the move, he's got himself a penalty instead. Maybe he might be driving with a little bit of frustration now, and he might try a bit more of an aggressive approach, just like we saw with Andrew earlier in this race when he got that 5-second time penalty. He was going for moves left, right and centre, was the McLaren. But now, JMC might have to pull off some similar energy if he was to give himself an opportunity to be on the podium, as Clock again goes wide at the end of the last corner. But again, once again, it just seems like JMC can't get the run out of the last corner.
Yeah, it's really hard to
Clock
overtake. It's really hard to overtake in the rain here. And JMC clearly has the pace over Clock, but he just can't get the move done. And resulted in getting a 3-second penalty now as well. And Clock has the experience to not get any pens, maybe. And he's know what he's doing, I think. But JMC, he's looking really quick. Let's see if he can get the move done and maybe pull a gap. And Scar Borga now is really close to Mash. But
yeah, Mash has gone wide there. He's gone wide through turn 5 and he's through turn 6, and that's compromised his run through turn 7. But Scar Borga just isn't close enough on this occasion. They also they won't be able to tell how much ERS the car ahead has, because these cars, they'll just carry on flashing as long as it's intermediate conditions. So it's going to be even harder to tell when you should use your energy.
Now JMC.
And right now, JMC is using his energy to pass Clock. He's got a much better run through turn 9. Round the outside. Through the right-hander. It's Perez-esque from 2021. Can he keep it round the outside? Clock will fight valiantly for P3. And he's still hanging in there. He's off the track. Is the Haas. Can he send it up the inside? Yes, he does. Can he complete the move? But Clock is trying to hang on for dear life. But JMC might have this in the bag, and he does. Another brilliant move from the Haas. He's up into P3. What a move. That might be move of the race.
That was a good battle there. I enjoyed that. That was clean as well. Perfect.
Brilliant racing there from active JMC in the Haas. Meanwhile, one thing I did notice was Scarborger did get past Mash, but Mash is in the pits. He's in for wet tyres.
Oh. Okay, he has nothing to lose, really. He's trying it.
He's trying it. It's fair enough. We've still got 7 laps to go. I'm really enjoying this race, even if it's around Paul Ricard of all places.
Yeah.
So, that says a lot. Div 2 never fails to entertain here in Summit League Racing, and Scarborger
really
is
close
looking to pass looking to pass Salty O'Clock. Salty O'Clock really struggling in these conditions. We saw that with JMC. It was only a matter of time before the Haas made the move. And Scarborger, despite all the adventures he's had so far in this race, he's still on for a podium here. And this could be it. This could be net P3 going to the Aston Martin. Again, Clock gets a little bit squirrely out of turn 9. But this time, he doesn't give Borger the outside line, and he stays in P4. He knows he needs to keep it behind for dear life if he wants a chance of getting a podium. But Scarborger, we know he's probably one of the quickest drivers in this division. You know he's not going to be easy to defend from. Meanwhile, Leo with 10 seconds of penalties, and there he goes, retired.
He finally tries.
He's called it a day.
Yes.
He has called it a day here. It has not been his day. It definitely hasn't. He was predicted for a podium from Benz, and instead,
Oh, sorry, bro.
it is a retirement. So
It was close though. Close prediction.
Yeah.
Like
You
the
owe
idea
an
wasn't bad.
apology,
Yeah.
Benz. I think you owe him an apology. Meanwhile, Morris is in as well. He's gone for wet tyres as well. So maybe, Benz, we could have another twist to the tail here. We could see the drivers going for wet tyres. We could see more and more drivers going for wet tyres here. Time will tell if this is the right decision.
I mean, are they going to be that much quicker?
I don't know. Is there enough time? Is there enough time for the conditions to shift towards the Blue War tyres? Drastic Blaze actually loved that battle between JMC and Salty O'Clock. We definitely enjoyed it as well. And there might be another one on our hands as Scarborger has a huge run on the Alfa Romeo, and I think Clock is going to have to give this one up. He knows he's struggling, and there you go, Scarborger is up into 4th place, and right now, he's in a net P3, despite being 10th place, spinning on his outlap. It's been another day of Scarborger brilliance here, another great recovery from the Aston Martin, but he's still got to survive these wet conditions and get to the flag, and it should be another podium heading his way. He couldn't quite get pole position once again, but I think a podium will do him very nicely for his title aspirations. Either way, he'll be outscoring J.L. Menz, who is not racing today. So every point counts for the championship contenders.
Yeah, Scarborger has done 2 separate comebacks this race. One on dry tires and one on the wets. And it's really, he's the quickest man today, clearly. He could have definitely had a chance to win if he didn't make that huge mistake, but it's been really entertaining to watch him just overtaking cars and making comebacks, and now he's back up. He most likely will finish P3, so
yeah, he might even get on track as well. But yeah, Scarborger definitely one to watch in this division. Time will tell if he will get into the higher divisions of Division 1. The division that me and you race in, Benz. We'll see if he can get there one day, but I definitely am confident that he definitely will. He's got the confidence, he's got the drive, he's got the motivation, he's got the pace.
Oh, and JMC just lost it and almost hit the wall.
Oh no, hang on a minute. Well, JMC has just undone his great work there. We've got a yellow flag in all 3 sectors. So Josh, who was leading this race by 3-4 seconds, that lead is gone. He was looking at P2. He might not even be looking at top 5. Is that a virtual safety car? I don't think it is.
I don't know. I can't see it. I think it's a
No,
virtual.
I don't think it is. We'd see a safety car appearing out of the pit lane. So it's a VSC. I have no idea why it is a virtual safety car. I have absolutely no idea why that's happened. It's in a wall. No one has put it in a wall. But either way, It's a VSC. Now, this would have helped the wet runners if it was a safety car, but instead,
it would have been epic if it was an actual safety car, the ending. But it's not.
It definitely would have been. But we're going again.
But for what,
James
though?
C.
So, like, yeah.
James C. Oh, he might have done a George Russell here. He's caught Borger napping here. Hang on a minute. He's got no front wing. That's why he's got at the inside. I think he did hit the wall.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. But I didn't see it. I just switched onto him when he was. I didn't think he hit the wall, but he did. Nah. That's unfortunate. I would have still stayed out, even with no front wing, maybe.
So you just be vibing with no front wing?
Yeah, bro. Cause look at how many positions he's gonna lose now.
Yeah, he's gonna lose quite a lot. He made a brilliant move, moving the race into third place, and now he's down in P8. Morris will actually be quite close to him, so Josh will probably be exhaling a sigh of relief. The Mercedes driver, because if that was a safety car, he wouldn't be looking at a top 5, but instead he is on course to win the race on track. But that third warning will definitely eradicate his hard work in this race. He's worked hard to take the lead of the race, but unfortunately he's only going to get P2 out of it, as JMC was looking at a podium. He didn't show much pace in the dry, in the wet. He was really good, but oh no, he's put it in the wall again. He's crashed again at the same place, and he's reset to track. And he's retired. Morris is out as well. Morris has binned it as well.
And it's a safety car. Oh my god. Oh my god. Carnage in Div 2.
There you go. Carnage in Div 2. JMC is reset to track. Now, I did this in Australia in Div 1.
Bosch
and
Josh got a drive-through penalty.
Josh,
what?
No, what have you done? Not again, he's got another penalty. Charlie's in the pits. JMC has reset to track. I did this in Australia back in Div 1, and I got a penalty for it, so that is a definite penalty going his way. Josh has sped under the safety car and he's missed the pit lane. And now Charlie's going to be on wet tyres. Clock is going to be on wet tyres. Scott Borger has stayed out.
Have you seen the incident when JMC?
I did, yeah. I saw it.
It must have been really
JMC.
unlucky for Morris, because he was behind him and he must have clipped him and just DNF. Yeah. Unfortunately.
I caught that on the stream as well. I caught that moment where he reset to track as well. So he doesn't really have much legs to stand on if he wants to appeal this decision. So that's really unfortunate for him. I've been there. It sucks. So don't reset to track, ladies and gents. Especially when the streamer catches you doing it. That's it. Penalty and license points for you. Shot medal is put down. The FIA have seen how wet it looks. Yeah, I know. I'm surprised we haven't red flagged it by now. It's actually unbelievable. We're going to get 27 laps of racing here, and it's going to be done a lot easier than it was in Japan in real life. And we've got a safety car at the end of this lap.
Oh, and will Charlie be able to overtake Scarborga? Because now suddenly Scarborga is on for the win. After spinning it twice. And coming back.
Well, we're in for a finish here. This is going to be some finish to this French Grand Prix. Josh has to take a drive-through penalty, so the race lead will go to the Aston Martin of Scarborga. I don't think he would have expected this a couple of laps ago when he spun halfway through this race on the intermediate tyres. He might have timed it wrong. I know! Clock! Let's try and keep it on the track, please. He's on the wet tyres. He's trying to get some temperature in those tyres. And he's almost binned it right there and then. I believe we are racing again.
And look at Charlie.
And look at Charlie. This is it. This could be for the race lead. Charlie looking to go for it on Scarborga. Going into turn 1. This is going to be so close between the two. And Charlie takes it. Charlie takes it. The intermediates are clearly not working anymore. Charlie pitted under the safety car, and he takes a net P1 in the French Grand Prix with 2 laps to go. Meanwhile, it's all sorts of chaos between 3 cars for the final place, for 4th place. Danny D is up into P4. I don't think he's even driving here.
What is Scarborga doing now?
What do you mean?
Like, look at the gap.
Yeah, what's happened here? Scarborga's dropped back dramatically here.
He was just
Meanwhile,
going very
SLR
slowly for no reason. I don't think it's the tires that are that bad.
I think it might be. The tyres have definitely dropped off. His tyres are 12 laps old. Mash has passed Danny D. Danny D has just put, come on. I'm not even going to read that out loud. Actually, I almost read that out loud. That would have been a terrible, terrible thing to say with pure confidence on stream. That would have been horrendous. He's rooting for his AI car. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying about it. That is it. I almost said that with pure chest. That would have been tragic. Simbox 1 out of context. That would have been horrendous. Meanwhile, Josh is going to take his drive-through penalty. And all that hard work has been undone. And that is simply...
I'm not going to lie, Simba. I was expecting a battle for first place in the last 2 laps. And now just Scarborga is nowhere. Charlie left him in the dust on those wets.
He definitely has. I think this might be one of the greatest feelings SLR Charlie could ever imagine. Racing in Division 2, he's overtaken Scarborga, definitely the quickest man on the track today, but when it came to the battle itself, the intermediates have let him down clearly. But SLR Charlie, credit to him, he stayed in the race, he kept it clean, he kept his nose clean, he kept his car on the track. And that is the main thing in these changeable conditions, and he's got a 9-second lead over Scarborga on this final lap, and he can cruise to another race win in Division 2. Scarborga is going to try and crawl his way to the line. I think Mash actually could catch him at the end of this Grand Prix. Sotia Clock might still have a chance to catch him at the end of this Grand Prix. Meanwhile, is there anything else going on? I don't think so. Moley could catch Josh at the end of this race. He's down in P6 after literally leading most of this race in these conditions. It is really, really gut-wrenching stuff for the Mercedes car. He knows he was close to victory today. But a man who definitely is on his way to victory is SLR Charlie. He took pole position by a whopping 4.5 tenths of a second. And he has definitely not been the quickest driver here today, but he's definitely been one to watch in this Grand Prix as he comes through the final corner of this race. There's been another chaotic race in Division 2, and this time it is won by the Red Bull of SLR Charlie. He wins the French Grand Prix, and he took his moment when it mattered, and he takes his 2nd win of the season. Mash does get Borga, and I think this will be a podium on the road. I don't think it will be a podium for Mash, unfortunately. That will go to Borga and Clock. Clock finishes 3rd. Danny D, despite not even racing, gets a P4. Mash P5. Morley 6th. Josh 7th with a whopping penalty at the end. It just adds to the pain he went through in this Grand Prix. Andrew will be 8th, and James C will be the final finisher. But I think there'll be another penalty for him to come after resetting onto the track. But what a race, Benz. What a race, and it's won by Charlie.
Yeah, it was a good race, to be fair. Exciting. It was a lot of chaos. Yeah. Wow. Legendary Danny D's AI finished 4th place after disconnecting on the first few laps. Says enough about how chaotic it was.
It really does. It really does. And there you go. You predicted that Charlie would get a podium, and he's on the top step today as JMC is mucking about on the main straight towards the line.
To be fair, I got it right. Charlie and Borga, I predicted them to be there. I mean, Leo was way off, but I mean,
2 out of 3.
Yeah.
not bad. I've had worse jinxes before. Mash does get drive of the day, and I think he was definitely one to watch. He definitely came alive in the final few laps on those wet tyres. It just turned out that the intermediates just couldn't hold on for too much longer. And this man, he knew he needed to win today, and he takes 25 points and sends a message to the Ferrari of J. Menz. The championship battle is back on in Division 2. SLR Charlie halves the gap between himself and the championship lead. And Cohen, I could not have said it better myself. Charlie was on point with the strategy, and that's exactly what you need to do in situations like this. The rule of thumb in league racing and in Formula 1, you've got to be on the right tyre on the right time, and Charlie was definitely on the right tyre at the right time, and that is what gave him victory here in the French Grand Prix. Another dominant drive from the Red Bull. He takes 25 points and gets himself right back into the championship fight. Scarborga finishes second. He had quite an eventful race here today, but he will collect 18 points for himself. Sautia Clock collecting a podium after all of that. Josh has left the session, and I can't blame him. He was on course for victory without those penalties. Danny D without even racing. Mate, fair play. P4 without even racing. Built different. Definitely a contender for driver of the day, despite not driving. That is phenomenal. Now that is vibing your way to a top 5, if I've ever seen it. SLR Mash P5 in the end. He did a great job from the back of the grid. Could have been on the podium without those track limit penalties, but I think a good performance from him nonetheless, and get some much needed points for AlphaTauri. Molly, very quiet in P6. He just kept it on the track, and that's exactly what gave him 8 points. Andrew was one of the early contenders for a podium, and he ends up 40 seconds off the lead. He finishes ahead of Josh in P8. P1 to P8. It is quite a cruel example on how league racing can turn on its head. JMC, the final finisher in P9. Morris, Leah, and Adrian failed to finish the race. And I'm going to get the top 3 into the party chat. Into the party. I sound like an absolute boomer saying it like that. Oh, that is brilliant. Great. Fantastic.
Good comms.
Good comms. Good comms. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. We're getting him in now. What a race. Yeah, we've got everyone in. So, I'll take P1 and P3.
Yeah, right.
And you can do P2 if you want. But yeah, we'll get started with the post-race interviews, and we're going to start off with fellow Alfa Romeo member Sautia Clock. Clock, it looked like you weren't on the pace today, but thanks to a little bit of luck and changeable conditions, you have managed to find yourself on the podium. Congratulations! A podium for you, another one to add to your collection. So talk us through your race.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised myself, to be honest, because I was terrible in qualifying. I was awful in the wet, but in terms of pace, but I was consistent, and I think my dry pace was quite decent. So, and then obviously the safety car helped me a bit in the dry stint there, getting into the mediums, you know, gaining some positions from that. And then yeah, the wet just came, and I was a bit annoyed because I knew I wasn't gonna be too quick in the wet. I usually I'm not, but I think it worked out pretty well in the end. Was a bit lucky that Mash had a pen, but you know, that's part of the game as well. Not getting warnings, and I only had 2, so I didn't get any pens, and he had at least 6 of them, accumulating 2 pens. So yeah, I'm really happy with getting P3 for that, and yeah, I don't know what to say really. I'm quite shocked myself. I actually ended up on the podium, to be honest.
Yeah, I could feel the shock in your voice. Really, it came out of nowhere. It didn't seem like you were on the podium, but you've got another one. I think it's your first one since Silverstone, if I'm not mistaken. Do you think there'll be more podiums to come in the future, or do you think that it'll be quite a struggle to get back to fighting for the top 3?
We'll see. They're getting pretty quick ahead, but you know, this isn't usually one of my strong tracks. We'll see what happens. I know I'm usually strong at Japan and Singapore, so I'll have to put my best hopes for those tracks and I have had a pole in Hungary a couple seasons ago, so maybe I can hope my pace is still there, but we'll see. We'll see.
We definitely will see. Congratulations on P3.
Thank
I'm
you.
going to pass on to Ben for P2 with Scar Borger. So
Yeah.
take it away, Ben.
Yeah, Borgo. So my first question is, did you feel the vibes? Because I was sending them through you throughout the race, which allowed you to
Mate.
do these comebacks from dry and wet.
I mean, I have no clue what has just happened. Really, I can't really describe that race because it was so terrible for me. But yet, in like the end result was the best I could have got. Dropping it on
Yeah.
what was it, hards, literally slowest spin I've ever had. Then I dropped it on the cold inters on the drying track. Probably came in a lap or two too early, which was the gamble I had to take really. And then being on cold inters and full wet conditions on inters is something I never want to do again. So to come out with P2 was mental.
Yeah, you look like you had really good pace. I actually think you had the best pace, but you made
No
mistakes. And yeah, well, out of pure pace, you were really quick. But obviously the mistakes cost you. But like you said, still P2 came back. I think it's some luck as well, but I mean, fair enough. I really enjoyed when you were scrapping through the field with the soft tires. I thought it was a risky strategy, but you made it work. So
I mean, I think it was just an idea to, well, after I dropped it, I saw the safety car come out for, I think it was Adrian. I thought, well, we're all going to go to the mediums to the end, and I saw everyone on mediums was like, may as well take the risks on softs, just in case they get there and actually make some overtakes, because I wasn't feeling it on the dry pace as well. I wasn't feeling it today. Wasn't good at all, really. I had a bit of a different setup to accommodate for the rain that came, and well, that didn't matter anyway.
yeah. Oh, well done on your race. And the
Cheers.
I'll pass it over to Simba for the race winner.
Cheers, Ben. Congrats, Borger, for P2. And the race winner, Charlie. How about that? Another win. And it seemed that timing was everything there. Just make sure your boxes tick, by the way. But congratulations, second win of the season. Talk us through your race.
Yeah, it was a decent race, to be fair. I was confident enough to try and get pole from the start. I had a race here last week, so that I got my practice in there. And then on the race, obviously, I saw it was raining, and I'm literally never strong in the rain. So just tried to do my best. At the start, obviously, I saw Scar had a pretty poor start from P2. He dropped back a few places, and Josh got me. We kept swapping places, but then it started to rain, and as Scar caught back up to us, I saw he pitted a couple of laps early. So I thought, just trying to overcut him with the rain and everything. And obviously, it turned out to be the right decision. And like Josh, well, as said in the Discord, he had really good pace on the inters compared to me. But when it started to get more wet, I was pretty surprised, like the likes of Borger and Josh didn't pit for the full wets, though, and especially when Josh got a drive-through as well. So it was a pretty much just to keep your car out of trouble and just bring the car home, to be fair.
Yeah, so fair enough. But second win of the season, you've managed to half the gap down to JD Menz. It looked like a insurmountable 50-point lead, and now it's down to 25. So would you say that this championship fight is definitely on for you with 10 races to go? There's a lot of points up for grabs.
I'd hope so, but I'm not counting my chickens yet. Menz is obviously a pretty quick driver, and I think I'll be missing a few races in the next 10 as well. So I'll try and pick up as many points as I can to get a go, but I think it'll be too far gone, to be fair.
Well, you never know. This is league racing. Anything
Yeah.
can happen, Charlie. But congratulations on another win. A bamboozled top 3, except for Charlie. He seems like he had things under control for most of that race. But what a race in Division 2. Division 2 never fails to deliver an entertaining Grand Prix in SLR. And that's all the time we have got for... that's all the time we've got here today. I've been Simbrox1 alongside the vibing connoisseur Cooper Benz. It's been a pleasure commentating for you guys here today. Make sure you check out the other French Grand Prix in Division 3, Division 4, and in Division 1. And until then, take care. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you very much. Cheers, everyone.